Breach18 from Breach18.com. We're going to have a look at an up-and-coming Kickstarter called Galactic Arena. So imagine yourself in a galaxy and you're thrown into an arena where you've got to do battle with maybe one other player or maybe a team of players. Let's take a look how that battle takes place. In Galactic Arena, you get to choose which character card you play with, and there's a variety of different ones that the game comes with. I'd just like to point out at this point that these are all prototype components and pieces, so not necessarily reflective of the finishing product. So as you can see here, we have the character in this corner, and we have some numbers going down here. These are your action points. So this character per turn will have 5 action points to spend. In this corner, the shield, that's your defense. So you have 3 defense. Can take a maximum of 5 damage, so it's got 5 health. And can attack for 3. Can move 4. Has 5 points to allocate to special abilities and an initiative of 7. So just like in a role-playing game, initiative basically dictates who can go first. Your allocation for your special abilities go into these things at the bottom here. So each ability will show you how much that costs. So for example, this one's worth 1, so we'd have to put 1 token on there. So we'd use one of our allocation of the 5 on this ability. All of these abilities here in the first row cost 1, second row cost 1 but cost an action point to utilise, and then in the third column they cost 2 and cost 1 action point to utilise in the game. The reds are for an offensive manoeuvre and the blue are for a defensive manoeuvre and can only be used as that. So if you're attacking, you can use the offensive ones. If you're defending, you can use the defensive ones. The ones with the little line symbol, it just basically means that you don't need to use any of your action points to use them. And then at the bottom, you've got your health grid. So you'd have your health marker on 5, and then when you lose health, it just moves down scale until you're dead. And then that'd be the end of the game. And say once we've allocated our points, so we've allocated 1 there and 1 there, when you use them in the game, these just simply get flipped over like that. And then once a round of combat is over, these then get refreshed like that and flipped back again. The abilities on the further right, on the third column, actually only allow you to use them, say, twice per game, once per game, once per game. It'll say 2/battle or 1/battle to say this. So that's pretty self-explanatory. Just looking up at here at the top, you have 3 weapons. You can only choose 1 weapon, and you'll do this before the game begins. And to symbolise which weapon you've chosen, you just put your weapon counter next to that weapon. So you have melee weapons, which you have to be adjacent to the person you're attacking. And then for a ranged weapon, such as this one here, you have to be at least 1 hexagon away from the opponent you're attacking. And for each additional space you are away from is minus your overall attack. So if there's 1 space between you and the person that you're attacking, that's -1 to your overall attack number. So these here also have keywords. So this one has bleed, and then in the weapon keywords it will tell you what bleed means. So sometimes it'll do additional damage, but it will note what these keywords mean here. And then what you would then do is when you're either defending or attacking, you roll a d10 and you plus your number to that, and then you match the opponent's roll and their bonus. So if I roll a 5 and I'm attacking, I would plus my 3 to that, so that gives me an attack value of 8. Then my opponent would either have to match that on his defense, or beat it to negate any damage done. And that's the player characters. And then you have on the back just all the fluff of that particular character, and there are several characters that have been included in the pack. So I'll just show you the artwork on that. As you can see, the artwork's pretty cool. So you have several different characters there. Just quickly flip through the ones, all with different abilities and different amounts of health, and also initiative and action points available to them. So there are a variety of ones there. But that's your character. We're going to need an arena to be actually battling. So let's take a look at the arena. So these are our two characters. We've got one set up, the other one we haven't set up just for the purpose of this. So this is the arena, and these are the two starting areas. So we've got red and blue. So this is my character here. That's just to show you where it is. So each turn we can do as many things as we have action points. So this character here has got 5. So I can say for my first action, I will move 4. That's our movement, so I can move 4. So I will go 1, 2, 3. And then because I'm one between, I could then choose to do a ranged attack because I've chosen a ranged weapon. So increase your shooting by 1 and deals 1 damage. Okay, so it does 1 damage, and my shooting has now been increased by 1, so it's 4. But we're 1 away, so we minus the 1 for the distance, so it's 3. So we roll the dice, we've got an 8 plus that 3, which equals 11. And then the opposition would roll their defense, so they've got 4 plus their die roll, which is 8. So this time the damage would get through and they would incur 1 point of damage, and they'd just move their token down 1. So that's the basic attack and defense. So you can move around the board, and there's different things on the board. So let's take a quick look at them. These black spaces are traps. You have to roll a d10. On an odd number you lose 1 health point. On an even, nothing happens. The reason why the traps are pretty cool, because there's certain special abilities where you can use telekinesis to move people into these traps, so forcing them to take that roll and see if they lose a point. You've also got these, which are stasis fields. If you can move someone into that, they can't move for 1 turn, so they're stuck there. These crates are shuffled and then put on these green sections here. You step on them and you can take them, and they will give you an ability. So this does +1 initiative, and that stays with you for the whole game. This one here has got +1 health, and that stays with you for the whole game. So these are pretty cool. These give you different abilities here. You've got barriers, which give you you can't move through them, and it gives you a bonus to your defense. So it gives you a +10 defense. So if you're in front of the barrier or behind it, that's quite a good place to be. Explosives, definitely not where you want to be. If you step on one of them, you remove it from the game, and the person who steps on it loses a health point. So that's the game in a nutshell. You can do things like charge, which use 2 action points, but it gives you like an extra damage that you deal. You can use your special abilities, which allow you to do funky stuff like move people into the black holes, or move them around the board, or it gains you additional damage. So it's very much, if you think D&D but in a sci-fi setting, but crammed in this arena, is very much back and forth, constant back and forth, until you can reduce each other down to 0. So if you like that type of thing and that floats your boat, then I would definitely check out this game on Kickstarter.